Beyond the endless void beneath the dominion of the celestial realms lay a star system unknown to most cultivators, a realm where bloodlines ruled where thunder was law, and where secrets older than sects slept among the stars. This was the Allheaven star system, and on this day an outsider descended into it, carrying with him a storm that would soon shake the balance of countless cultivation families. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. The reason he was able to escape was not solely because he had fused with the suction force. More importantly, it was thanks to the seven-star sword formation and the protection of the celestial guards. The weakening of the suction itself also played a crucial role. The suction within the abyss was erratic, sometimes violent, sometimes subdued. Had Wang Lin attempted to leave during one of its violent surges, even with all his advantages, escape would have been nearly impossible. Standing atop the mosquito beast as he flew out, Wang Lin was immediately met by the sight of thousands of crimson-eyed mosquitoes staring at him. Thick waves of hostility radiated from their bodies, saturating the air. He frowned slightly. Compared to before, their numbers had clearly diminished. Something unexpected must have occurred during the battle between Greed and Zhou Yi, something severe enough to drastically reduce the mosquito swarm. "I just don't know what exactly happened," Wang Lin murmured inwardly. He placed his palm gently on the mosquito's head and released his divine sense. In an instant, fragmented scenes flooded his mind. Halfway through the battle between Zhou Yi and Greed, a man and a woman descended from the exit of the fire demon country. These two cultivators were terrifyingly powerful. With a single grasp, Greed was subdued. Zhou Yi was captured just as easily, yet there was no trace of malice in their actions. The moment the man laid eyes on Zhou Yi, his gaze flickered with melancholy and deep nostalgia. The mosquito swarm had not been exterminated, but the majority had been captured by the pair. Had Wang Lin's mosquito not sensed danger and disguised itself among the others through a spell, it too might have been taken. When Wang Lin withdrew his divine sense, his expression darkened. After a brief silence, he patted the mosquito's head. Letting out a low roar, the mosquito did not head toward the fire demon country's exit. Instead, it veered sharply toward the entrance of the water demon country. Now that Wang Lin could merge with the suction force itself, any place could become an exit. As they flew, thousands of mosquitoes followed behind them. From time to time, despairing and hopeless cries echoed through the air, as though they were begging their king not to leave. That day, above the water demon country, a streak of purple light shot into the sky. It was the mosquito beast. Wang Lin sat upon its back, his expression somber. Soon after the purple light appeared, more than 2,000 mosquito beasts surged forth, completely encircling Wang Lin. Their gazes were locked onto the purple mosquito, and their cries grew increasingly shrill. The mosquito beneath Wang Lin responded with resolute cries of its own, its eyes burning with unwavering determination. The sorrow within the surrounding mosquitoes deepened. Slowly their gazes shifted toward Wang Lin, filling with savage hostility. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. He rose to his feet, and lightning from his origin soul surged outward. In that instant, he seemed to stand within a storm of thunder, lightning spilling from his eyes as he coldly swept his gaze across the swarm. Sensing Wang Lin's intent, the mosquito beneath him released a piercing screech. An overwhelming pressure erupted outward, forcing the surrounding mosquitoes to retreat and scatter. Wang Lin took out his bag of holding, opened a narrow slit, and calmly scanned the swarm. Silence fell. After a long moment, one mosquito suddenly darted forward, transforming into a streak of grey light as it entered the bag. Soon after, others followed. Yet not all chose to go. Nearly 2/3 of the mosquitoes remained behind, silent and motionless, watching as Wang Lin and their king disappeared beyond the horizon. After a long while, sorrowful cries filled the air. One by one, their bodies collapsed. They shattered their own hearts and plunged into the depths of the tide abyss. In the distance, the mosquito beast's body trembled. It slowly turned its head toward the abyss, its eyes brimming with grief. Wang Lin let out a soft sigh and gently rubbed its head. From his understanding of mosquito beasts, he now fully comprehended the truth, unless it was still a child. A mosquito beast could never be tamed. Those that entered his bag were all children. Those who chose death were adults. In the world of mosquito beasts, abandonment by their king meant only one fate: death, unless a new king arose. Unable to bear the mosquito's sorrow, Wang Lin leapt down and stored it within the bag of holding. Only by staying with its several hundred companions and the thunder toad could it slowly heal. Wang Lin hovered in the air, gazing up at the blue sky and drifting white clouds. It had been a long time since he had last seen the sky. After a moment of contemplation, he slapped his bag of holding, and a crystal appeared in his palm. His divine sense entered the crystal, which immediately radiated golden light. The light enveloped him, and moments later, both the light and Wang Lin vanished. When he reappeared, he stood once more inside the cave. His eyes gleamed as he examined the remaining restrictions. "The next time I return," he muttered, "I'll shatter every restriction and uncover this cave's true secret." He took a deep breath, formed seals with his hands, and sealed the cave completely. Then he destroyed the transfer array, ensuring that no one, not even the blood ancestor, could ever enter again. Afterward, Wang Lin cast a lingering glance at the cave. The cave spirit appeared at the entrance, silently watching him, saying nothing. Wang Lin turned away, crystal in hand, and departed. He emerged outside the soul-refining tribe in the Sky Demon country. The tribe members froze for a moment before erupting into joyous cries, bowing deeply. Wang Lin did not take all the soul fragments they had gathered. Instead, he summoned 13 and Xianxia. After issuing instructions and leaving behind cultivation methods, he taught 13 the latter half of the giant demon clan's technique. Then he left. As he departed, 13 knelt and kowtowed repeatedly. Xianxia did the same, sorrow filling their eyes. Though Wang Lin said nothing, both felt it deep within their hearts this lifetime. They would likely never see him again. Within Sky Demon City, inside the Demon General's mansion, Xiao sat in a lotus position. Beside him, Chen Tao cultivated quietly. Years of healing and rare medicine had restored Chen Tao to the mid-ascendant stage, even allowing slight advancement. Moments later, Xiao opened his eyes, light flashing within them. Chen Tao did the same, his gaze deep and profound. Chen Tao, Xiao said calmly, "Tomorrow I will recommend you to the Demon Emperor as a Demon General. You may then cultivate at Dragon Lake. Though it is not the true inheritance, it will benefit you greatly." Chen Tao smiled faintly. "Then tomorrow I should call you Vice Commander-in-Chief." Xiao laughed proudly. "That position should have been mine 100 years ago. Mo Lihai stole it through despicable means. If not for that lowly Wang Lin, what would he amount to?" "Wang Lin is my junior apprentice brother," Chen Tao replied evenly. Xiao sneered. "Where was your junior brother during the war with the Fire Demon country? He only appeared at the end to steal credit. Though he helped Lord Ancient Demon, he disgraced us all. And he's been missing for years now. His bones are probably dust. You still remember him as your junior brother, but I doubt he remembers you as his senior." Chen Tao fell silent. Xiao's eyes glinted with mockery. Calling him lowly is already generous. "If he dares appear, I'll kill him myself and teach him how a cultivator should behave." "Is that so?" A cold voice echoed from the void. Xiao stiffened, his expression darkening. "Who dares hide and speak? Show yourself." Chen Tao's eyes lit up as he looked skyward. A black silhouette emerged beneath the full moon, lightning crackling around his form. Moonlight framed him, creating a scene both majestic and terrifying. "Id you, Wang Lin?" Chen Tao gasped. "You dare trespass into my mansion?" Shiko roared. "Leave within 3 breaths or die." Wang Lin descended slowly and said calmly, "I once promised someone that I would take your life. Today I fulfill that promise." Killing intent exploded from Xiao. He lunged forward, seals forming in his hands. Wang Lin did not move. Under the moonlight, his shadow suddenly twisted and surged forth like a ferocious beast, instantly passing through Xiao's body. Chen Tao's expression changed drastically. As he tried to move, the shadow glanced at him. Under that gaze, Chen Tao trembled violently. His origin soul shrank, cold sweat pouring down his face. Yin-yang stage, he whispered in terror. The shadow returned, merging once more with Wang Lin. Shishao collapsed, eyes still wide with killing intent, yet his life soul and existence had already been annihilated. Wang Lin turned and left. Under the moonlight he seemed to walk upon the moon itself. His robe's fluttered hair dancing in the wind as he disappeared into the distance. "Be careful of Master," Wang Lin's voice echoed softly. Chen Tao stared at the sky for a long time, utterly speechless. After settling all remaining matters, Wang Lin arrived once more at the entrance of the tide abyss. He turned to look at the land, then lifted his gaze toward the heavens, his eyes piercing through the sky, through this world, reaching all the way to the East Demon Spirit Sea. Outside its gate stood the all-seer Ling Tianhou, the blood ancestor, and several elders. As they waited for the gate to open, the all-seer suddenly exclaimed, his brows knitting tightly. 10 years ago, he had felt a dreadful sense of alarm, the first in tens of thousands of years. It came from the demon spirit land, from the mark he had placed upon a disciple named Wang Lin. That mark had been forcibly erased. This was not unprecedented. Long ago, a disciple named Sun Yun had accomplished the same. Yet the all-seer was not the only one disturbed. Ling Tianhu's unease stemmed from his daughter Yao Xixue. The longer time passed, the heavier his heart became. At his level of cultivation, such foreboding never came without cause. That was why he had immediately agreed to enter early. Yao Xixue was his only daughter, his sole family. For her, he would abandon everything. Ling Tianhou himself was filled with suppressed fury. 9 of the 12 swords' life lamps had been extinguished. He concealed his rage as he prepared to enter, determined to interrogate greed thoroughly. None of them knew that the source of all this unrest came from a single person. Ling Tianhou pressed his palm down, opening the gate to the demon spirit land. With a sweep of his sleeve, he stepped inside. That palm strike fell upon the gate of the demon spirit land. Yet what it shook was not merely the gate, but the entirety of the demon spirit land itself. At that instant, all 9 countries trembled. Wails and cries filled the land as the heavens darkened. The blue sky vanished, replaced by roiling black clouds that churned violently, converging into an enormous vortex. The vortex was unimaginably vast. It expanded endlessly, rotating slowly as torrents of sword energy surged forth from within, sweeping across the sky. An aura as domineering as the heavens themselves descended. Simultaneously, 7 strands of rainbow light burst forth from the vortex and plunged downward. Across the demon spirit land, ancient demons emerged from their respective holy grounds, gazing solemnly at the terrifying vortex above. Bei Lu frowned deeply as he looked up. After a brief glance, he flicked his sleeves and vanished. Several figures stepped out from the vortex. Ling Tianhu stood in the air clad in green robes. He looked down upon the land below and thundered, "Greed, come out and meet this old man." His voice roared like celestial thunder reverberating across the heavens. The ground cracked open in response, fissures spreading rapidly. In the blink of an eye, his voice swept across the entire demon spirit land. Strangely, no one seemed surprised. It was as though everyone already knew that greed had arrived. The blood ancestor's brows furrowed deeply. The moment he entered the demon spirit land, his divine sense swept across it entirely, yet he found no trace of Yao Xixue. It was as though she had vanished from existence. His unease deepened. Taking a deep breath, he covertly activated a secret technique and searched once more. His expression darkened even further. The all-seer raised his right hand and began calculating with his fingers. Outside, the East Demon Spirit Sea had obstructed his divination. But here, within the Demon Spirit Land, nothing hindered him. At the exact moment these ancient monsters descended into the Demon Spirit Land, Wang Lin plunged into the tide abyss. He shot downward like a falling star. The terrifying suction force acted like a colossal thruster, propelling Wang Lin deeper and deeper into the abyss. Ling Tianho's face was grim. After releasing his voice, he expanded his divine sense outward. In the extreme northern region, two other divine senses suddenly appeared and collided with his own. Ling Tianhu let out a muffled grunt as his body trembled slightly. His eyes immediately shone with sharp brilliance. At the same time, an illusory cloud silently manifested before them. It was not a physical cloud, but a phantom. Seated upon it were a man and a woman. They were the celestial cloud couple Wang Wei and Hu Huan. Wang Wei calmly swept his gaze across Ling Tianho and the others. When his eyes fell upon the All-Seer, his pupils shrank almost imperceptibly. The All-Seer remained with eyes closed, continuing his calculations as though their arrival meant nothing. Wang Wei smiled faintly. Fellow cultivators, long time no see. Hu Shan smiled softly but said nothing. Ling Tianho stared coldly at Wang Wei. Fellow cultivator Wang, I have sensed that greed is with you. Hand him over. I have matters of utmost importance to question him about. Wang Wei chuckled and turned to Hu Huan. See, after all these years, the Sword Saint's temper has not mellowed in the slightest. In fact, it seems even worse. Hu Huan's gaze softened. It is only natural. The Sword Saint is worried for his disciples. Ling Tianhu's expression darkened dangerously. Were it not for his deep jidan of these two, he would have already attacked. Wang Wei patted his bag of holding. Two figures flew out at once. One was Chen Long. The other greed. Upon seeing Ling Tianho, Chen Long's eyes filled with joy. He knelt immediately, tears welling as he cried, Master, it was greed. He was the one who harmed all my junior brothers. Greed's expression remained utterly indifferent. He stood behind Wang Wei and Hu Juan, silent like an old servant. Ling Tianho did not look at Chen Long. His gaze locked onto Greed as he said coldly, Greed, you truly have courage. Though Greed's heart skipped a beat, his face did not change. He coldly glanced at Chen Long. Boy, did this old man personally kill even a single member of your Dalu sword sect. Chen Long glared viciously. With his master present, his courage surged. Even if you didn't kill them yourself, you trapped us within the purple mist. If not for that, how could my junior brothers have died? Greed laughed coldly. This old man trapped you only to obtain the token. Did I harm even a strand of hair on your bodies? Instead of seeking the true murderer, you come barking at me. Ridiculous. Chen Long was about to speak again when Ling Tianho waved his sleeve sharply. Enough. He stared at Greed, killing intent, pouring forth word by word. Greed, where is the token? Greed smiled bitterly, his expression filled with helplessness. You may not believe me, but I swear upon my tens of thousands of years of cultivation, the token is not in my hands. Ling Tianhu remained silent, waiting. Aside from the All-Seer who still had his eyes closed, every ancient monster present blood ancestor included fixed Greed with piercing gazes. Greed's scalp went numb. Among them all, aside from Chen Long, his cultivation was the weakest. Being stared at by so many terrifying existences caused his mind to tremble. After a moment, he steadied himself and spoke rapidly. It was Wang Lin of the Heavenly Fate sect. He took the token. Nephew Chen Long can testify. He was also the one who killed the disciples of the Dalo sword sect. Ling Tianho frowned and turned to Chen Long. Chen Long hurriedly said, Master, this disciple only saw Wang Lin possessing the token while being trapped by Greed. I don't know what happened afterward. However, he did indeed kill several of my junior brothers. At that very moment, the All-Seer abruptly opened his eyes and looked eastward. He wants to leave. His hand moved even faster, his gaze piercing through space, locking onto the entrance of the tide abyss in the water demon country, plunging straight down into its depths. As Wang Lin descended, he instantly sensed it. He immediately merged with the suction force, accelerating even further downward. The All-Seer felt his gaze being distorted by the terrifying pull. After a brief hesitation, he forced his divine sense deeper. This sudden action drew everyone's attention. Even the celestial cloud couple revealed looks of surprise. One by one, the ancient monsters extended their divine senses, following the All-Seer's vision, deep into the tide abyss. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He slapped his bag of holding, and the seven-star sword formation burst forth, rotating around his body and pushing his speed to terrifying heights. He rushed straight toward the bottom. Soon the vortex appeared before him. At that moment, the divine senses of all the ancient monsters descended. Ling Tianhu immediately recognized the seven-star sword formation, his fury erupting. The All-Seer also saw Wang Lin unmarked by any celestial slaughter brand. A trace of coldness appeared in his gaze. Wang Lin stepped upon the vortex. He turned around, calmly sweeping his eyes across everyone, then slowly sank into it. A terrifying force surged outward from the vortex. Even the divine senses of the All-Seer and the others were forced to retreat, powerless to interfere. It was not that they did not wish to stop him. The power within the vortex was the force connecting two entire star systems, far beyond what they could contend with. As Wang Lin's figure vanished, the Blood Ancestor's divine sense locked onto him, his expression turning pitch black. Just moments earlier, he had sensed Yao Shixue's aura on Wang Lin, her struggle, her resistance. This could only mean one thing. Wang Lin, the Blood Ancestor roared. "Where is my daughter?" "There aren't 3 fake caves," Wang Lin's voice echoed before disappearing. "There are 4. Others might not understand, but the Blood Ancestor did. The 4th fake cave was a secret known only to him and Yao Shixue. Wang Lin's purpose was clear. He was leaving, but he would stir this world into chaos before doing so. The area around the vortex fell into absolute silence. Every ancient monster wore a grim expression. After hearing Wang Lin's words and seeing the Blood Ancestor's reaction, their gazes slowly shifted toward him. The Blood Ancestor felt needles pricking his back. After a moment of contemplation, he spoke heavily. "There is indeed a 4th fake cave. It has clearly been occupied by Wang Lin. He also possesses the token. If he is not captured, none of us will ever enter the true cave. We already knew this vortex leads to the Allheaven star system. The power within is overwhelming, but Wang Lin somehow obtained an item that allows him entry. All of us have tried and failed. However, if we join forces and send only one person, it can be done." Ling Tianhu asked coldly, "Who goes?" "If I go, you will all suspect me," the Blood Ancestor replied slowly. "The best choice is greed. We will each leave a restriction on him. He will never escape our grasp. He will obediently capture Wang Lin and bring him back. And his cultivation is sufficient to deal with Wang Lin." The All-Seer stared silently at the vortex, a mysterious light flickering within his eyes. No one knew what he was thinking. Allheaven star system. Brilliant starlight spread endlessly in all directions. The Allheaven star system was vast beyond measure, containing countless cultivation planets scattered like stars across the void. Aside from a handful of cultivators within the Alliance star system, very few even knew that other star systems existed. The Allheaven star system, however, was different. Almost everyone here knew that beneath each of the wind, rain, thunder, and lightning celestial realms lay an immense star system of its own. This difference stemmed from the Cultivation Alliance's absolute dominance within the Alliance star system. They concealed far too many truths, including Wang Lin. Nearly all cultivators believed that the Cultivation Alliance was the sole power beneath the heavens. In contrast, the Allheaven star system was far more open. Even so, certain secrets remained closely guarded. One of the greatest distinctions between the two systems was this: there were no sects in the Allheaven star system, only cultivation families. Here bloodlines were everything. Only those of the same blood gathered together, forming forces bound by ancestry rather than doctrine. At this moment, several streaks of light cut through the starry sky. There were 4 figures in total, 3 men and 1 woman. Though it was difficult to determine their true ages, they appeared relatively young. Their cultivation levels were similar as well. The woman was at the mid-stage of soul transformation, while the 3 men were all at the early stage. The woman looked to be in her 20s. She was beautiful, yet there was a trace of coldness between her brows. Rather than arrogance, she carried the quiet bearing of a noble lady. The three male cultivators were all handsome, but their expressions were tense and grim as they repeatedly glanced behind them. One of the men said urgently, "We should throw away the brilliant red stone. Otherwise, these dark fog insects will never stop chasing us, once they trap us completely." The woman replied softly, "Even if we discard the brilliant red stone, the dark fog insects will continue to pursue anyone who has taken it." Behind them, a vast grey mist surged relentlessly forward. Upon closer inspection, countless finger-sized insects could be seen writhing within it. The mist itself was exhaled from their bodies. Each of the four stood upon a star compass, moving at tremendous speed. Even so, if not for the woman repeatedly scattering large quantities of crystals to temporarily obstruct the advancing mist, they would have been overtaken long ago. Despite this, her exhaustion steadily worsened while the insects drew closer with each passing breath. At last, the mist surged violently and engulfed them completely. From afar, only a massive cloud of grey fog could be seen, nothing of the four trapped within. They hailed from planet Ran Yun. The woman was named Ran Yue. The three men were Ran Chen, Ran Feng, and Sun Suishan. They had originally ventured out for training, but by chance had obtained a brilliant red stone. That single act had brought upon them the relentless pursuit of the dark fog insects, until they were finally surrounded. The mist emitted by these insects was lethally poisonous to cultivators. Merely touching it could injure the origin soul and completely suppress spells. It was terrifying beyond belief. Trapped within the mist, the four relied solely on Ran Yue's jade bracelet, which emitted faint arcs of thunder, barely forcing the fog back. Without it, they would have already been swallowed and their origin souls destroyed. The other three desperately unleashed spells and activated treasures attempting to break free. Yet the fog was far too dense. No matter how they struggled, escape proved impossible. As time passed, their celestial spiritual energy dwindled and their supply of pills grew dangerously low. Ran Yue frowned slightly and spoke in a low voice. "The dark fog insects fear thunder spells the most. I've already sent a request for aid to the family. Though this place is far from home, we must hold on until a senior skilled in thunder arrives." Her consumption was the greatest. Most of her energy was being drained into the bracelet. Without it, their deaths would have come instantly. Sun Suishan let out a bitter smile, gazing at the countless insects writhing within the fog. Despair crept into his heart. "We can only blame our greed. If we hadn't pried out that brilliant red stone, we wouldn't be facing this calamity." At that moment, a streak of silver light suddenly passed by the fog. It resembled a silver dragon, majestic and swift, with a young man seated upon it. He wore a snow-white robe, his long hair tied neatly behind him. His appearance was ordinary, yet his skin gleamed faintly, and pride shone within his eyes. From time to time, lightning flickered across his gaze, lending him an awe-inspiring presence. It was Wang Lin. After passing through the vortex, it was as though he had entered a grand teleportation array. When he emerged, he found himself amidst the stars, surrounded by radiant nebulae, yet not a single cultivator was in sight. This was not his home. This was the Allheaven star system, beneath the Thunder Celestial realm. After a brief moment of contemplation, Wang Lin took out his star compass. With a trace of uncertainty, he began to wander through this unfamiliar star system. The grey mist in the distance caught his attention. Silver light flashed beneath him as he approached. Lightning glimmered within his eyes, instantly revealing the abnormal nature of the mist and the four cultivators trapped inside. Under Wang Lin's gaze, the dark fog insects actually trembled, as though that gaze had solidified into substance. They instinctively avoided it, creating a fleeting opening. The four within were startled. Ran Yue's eyes lit up, her heart surging with shock. To force back dark fog insects with nothing but a gaze, such ability utterly shook her. Her eyes shifted, finally seeing Wang Lin standing atop the silver light beyond the mist. The despair in Sun Suishan's eyes vanished instantly. He clasped his hands and shouted urgently, "Senior! Junior is from the Sun family of planet Ran Yun. If Senior saves us, Junior will repay you generously. Ran Chen and Ran Feng also clasped their hands, pleading respectfully. Ran Ye gazed at the young man and felt the pressure around her ease slightly. She clasped her hands and spoke softly. Senior Junior is of the Ran family of planet Ran Yun. We are trapped by these dark fog insects. If Senior renders aid, the Ran family will certainly offer a reward. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as his gaze swept over the four. He then withdrew his eyes. Instantly the mist churned violently, sealing the opening once more. Cries of alarm erupted from within. The four felt their hearts sink. Sun Xueshan shouted hastily, "Senior, we possess a brilliant red stone. If Senior saves us, we will offer it to you as thanks." Wang Lin had no idea what a brilliant red stone was, and thus felt no temptation. He gazed at the mist, pondering quietly. He was far too unfamiliar with the Allheaven star system. He needed information quickly so that he could find the Xiang family mentioned in the scroll. Inside the mist, the four could no longer see outside. Aside from Ran Yue, the other three were consumed by anxiety. Ran Yue's brows knit tightly. Her pills were nearly gone. If this continued, the consequences would be unimaginable. She clenched her teeth. "Senior, Before she could finish, Wang Lin's voice echoed into the mist. "Where is planet Ran Yun?" All four froze. Sun Xueshan reacted instantly. 7 days to the north. If Senior wishes to go, Junior is willing to lead the way as repayment. Wang Lin's eyes brightened. He raised his right hand and pointed into the void. A strand of lightning burst forth from his origin soul. With a flick of his finger, it shot outward. From the moment the mist recoiled under his gaze, Wang Lin had already deduced the insect's weakness to thunder. Now, a bolt of lightning exploded forth, roaring like a thunder dragon as it tore through space and slammed directly into the fog. The dark fog insect shrieked in terror, retreating in waves. Thick poison mist surged forward, attempting to extinguish the lightning. Ordinary thunder spells would have weakened under such poison. But this was no ordinary thunder. This was true heavenly thunder, born from Wang Lin's origin soul after merging with the ancient thunder dragon. The thunder dragon roared. Large swaths of mist dissipated instantly. Lightning tore through the fog as countless dark fog insects fled in panic. Already fearful of thunder, they now faced their natural nemesis. In the blink of an eye, the thunder faded and the insects scattered far into the distance. The four cultivators flew out, immediately arriving beside Wang Lin. Each of them felt as though they had escaped the jaws of death. But more overwhelming than relief was shock. Sun Xueshan stared at Wang Lin in disbelief. As a cultivator of the Allheaven star system, he was not unfamiliar with thunder techniques. This system was directly connected to the thunder celestial realm. Here, thunder spells reigned supreme. Yet the might contained within that single strand of lightning, it carried traces of true heavenly power. Such a thing was beyond even the elders and ancestors of his family. Ran Ye and the two Ran men were equally stunned. Ran Ye inhaled sharply, her eyes shining as she looked at Wang Lin. With her cultivation at mid-soul transformation, her status within the family was higher, and she knew more hidden truths. Recalling everything she had witnessed, her heart trembled. She took a deep breath and spoke respectfully. "Junior is of the 9th generation of the Ran family. Might Senior be a thunder celestial messenger?" Sun Xueshan's expression changed drastically. So that's it. He must be a thunder celestial messenger, he thought. But then, why would such a being wish to go to planet Ran Yun? That's all for today's content. See you in the next part. Support me by becoming a member. It will give me more motivation. Thank you so much.